He's more than an athlete. He's an artist.
I think you're in love, Ron.
Shut up.
Victor, I love you. Victor, I do.
When we're apart, my heart beats only.
Harry Potter!
Hey, my eyes aren't glistening with the ghost of my past.
I'm not an owl.
Technically, it's a fact.
Ah, c'est magnifique.
Kill the stag.
I'm on a Barty Crouch!
Behaving like a babbling, bumbling band of baboons.
Junior.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to Retold, the podcast where I retell you my favorite story of all time, Harry Potter. Every single week, we go through the books 2 chapters at a time, talking about what happens, recapping the events, hopefully in a fun and entertaining way. But I never take this journey alone. I'm always joined by some very special guests. And with me this week, I have Emily.
Hi.
You guys remember Emily? She was on last week's episode. She's been on several episodes. Emily, a little fun fact I haven't told you yet. Of the last 6 episodes, the most downloaded one by far is our fanfic episode. For some reason, people are
Yay!
loving that fanfic episode. So
Oh my gosh.
check that out, listeners, the one for Prisoner of Azkaban. But yeah, so listeners have just heard you from last week with our Big Founders episode.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, it's been quite a stretch of time that's taken place in between then.
Yes.
This is the first time the listeners will hear me speaking after I've had my baby. Yay. She's upstairs right now. Listeners, I know you're worried. Everything went well. All right. Safe birth, healthy baby, healthy wife. I was with my wife in the delivery room, and one of my thoughts afterwards was, if any woman has like a natural birth, they can make fun of my masculinity all they want. After seeing the strength and the power that it took and the love for my wife to be able to do that, I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
I felt like one of my weird thoughts was like, I feel like maybe back in the day, when men had war wounds and things like that to justify their masculinity, maybe a little bit, it was different. But I work from home.
Yeah.
So I was like, you win, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I guess women are pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
But as a result of having a child now, I'll be a little scatterbrained this episode, still trying to put some things together. So listeners, forgive me if I'm a little slower on this time around, but that's what Emily's here for. She is a consummate professional. She will take care of you.
Yep.
Now, typically, we ask our guests the fandom ID question, but people know you're a Gryffindor.
Yes,
All right.
I am.
We tried to label you a Slytherin last episode.
It hurt me. It really did.
But it's not true. She's a true G, all right,
am.
through and through. And then we usually will ask people what their, like a returning guest, the follow-up question is, what Hogwarts class would they most want to teach? But we've already done that for you as well.
Yes.
Do you remember what you said for that, by the way?
Didn't I say, oh my gosh.
You don't even
I don't
remember.
was it maybe Charms or Transfiguration?
Somebody will write in and let
Yeah,
us
they're
know.
gonna be like, here, goldfish memory girl. Here's your answer.
And sure.
Answer.
Well, this time around, I figured since I am a new dad, we can do some dad jokes.
Ooh.
One of my friends gave me a dad joke book. So
Oh, that's so cute.
I know. The dad joke book.
Woohoo.
All right.
That's cute.
Dad jokes for new dads. That's me. Embarrass your kids early is the little tagline in it. There's the for little baby for giving pound fist to the big hand.
That's so cute.
All right. You can't see this if you're a visual or audio listener, but we are on YouTube now.
Ooh,
all right. So
YouTube.
subscribe, everybody. Let's see. What joke do I want to say? I saw one earlier. It's in fitting that like as a Christian, it caught my eye, and it said, somebody goes, I texted my dad and asked him, why is it that all the pictures of Jesus he has a crown of thorns on his head? And the dad replies with, I don't know. That's a real head scratcher. I was like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, no. What candle is the most dangerous in the world, Emily?
A lit one?
A John Wick.
Okay.
Okay, let's do another one. Where do Volkswagen's cars go when they get old?
I don't know where.
The old Volks home.
Oh my gosh, that one's awful. I hate that one specifically.
Oh, let's see. That one's stupid. It says a group of llamas started a singing group. They call themselves the Acapellamas.
No, not good.
That's not even good.
They should have proofread that a little bit.
There was, I liked one that I read earlier that said, I can't help that I'm pessimistic. It's in my blood. My blood type is B negative.
But
okay, one more good one. Let's see. Dad, I'm going to take a shower. Okay, but make sure to bring it back. Okay, that's silliness. But moving on now to our Quizzitch section. Okay, so this is the part of the show, listeners, where I will ask my guests 2 questions. They ask me 2 questions, all for the sake of proving that I, myself, know the Harry Potter books better than anybody else in the world. I represent myself, my guests represent the world, and we keep track of the points the whole season and see who comes out on top, me or the world. At the moment, after last week, I went through the gauntlet and I still came out on top. Not from that, that episode, y'all got more questions, right? But still overall through the season, I'm up by 1 point at the moment. Currently up by 1. So that's the deal.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The pressure is on.
Emily, ask me your first question.
Okay.
I wish I had reviewed. I was so nervous.
What are the attributes each founder valued per the Sorting Hat's descriptions?
Are you going to make me say every single one?
Yes, but you don't have to say it verbatim in the order he said it or how he said it.
I mean, is it essentially just the things they normally say about the houses, where Gryffindor, bravery? I know Hufflepuff said loyalty. It did say loyalty. No, hard work. It said hard work. That's what it said. Yeah, hard work for the Hufflepuffs, loyalty for Gryffindors, cunning for Slytherins, and studious for Ravenclaw.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. Am I about to get a half point here?
Most likely. So
I'm loving my half points this season.
Well, okay, so Gryffindor was bravest.
I got that.
You said loyal.
No, I said Hufflepuffs. And then I switched it to hard work. Play back the tape. I said Gryffindor being brave. All right.
Future Barry's going to come in and be like, he's going to be like, bravest?
For every single one.
Ravenclaw was cleverest. Hufflepuff was hard workers. I thought that would be the one that got you, but you remembered. And then Slytherin was ambition.
Okay. I'd say that's a half point worthy, especially because cunning is so similar to ambition. I guess it's not, but the Ravenclaw studious with clever is close, but not close enough. So
you'll take a half point.
As the arbiter of what's right and wrong on this podcast, I will give myself a half point.
I'm not going to argue with it. You're good.
Thank you.
Get that point.
Okay, so you ask me a house question. I'll ask you one. And this one, I thought it sucked, but there's a lot of options. So it might not suck. The hat says where every single founder is from. Can you name one of those? Can you match one of them? And here's what I'll do for you. I will say each one of each one of those locations, and all you have to do is associate one of them, get one correct.
Okay.
Okay, so let me get to that spot. During the sorting. Okay. So I gotta say this out of order. So he says that one of the houses is from Valley Broad, one of them is from Glen, one of them is from Finn, and one of them is from Wildmoor. Again, your options are Valley Broad, Glenn, Finn, or Moore?
Is Glenn Gryffindor?
You know, I could see why you would think that
Ugh!
because of the G, but it's not. I'll give you another guess,
Okay.
though.
Can you give me my options one more time? I'm stalling.
Wild Moore, Valley Broad, Glenn, and Finn.
Wildmore is Hufflepuff.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Oh, what a shame. That's incorrect.
Darn it.
Anyway, no, like I got nervous because when I restated it, I started off with the beginning of the list on the paper. So I said Wildmore, and I was like, oh, shoot, she's going to know that's Gryffindor since it was the first one.
Darn it.
But it's okay. That's all right. What's your next
I
question?
filter that stuff out. Sometimes when I read, I'm like, this isn't important.
I'm convinced now. My guests have ramped up the difficulty for the trivia question. I mean, you were there last episode. What Jonathan did to me was pretty savage.
Mine are like, what color was his hat?
And the Jonathan going, give me the full sequence where who he meets along the way.
Because I'm not, like, I'm competitive, but I'm not, like, competitive like they are. So I feel like every time they're like, I'm going to get him. And I'm like, how can we make this equal?
There's no, like...
Okay, my question, this one might be a little bit harder, but that one was hard, so I don't
That was, yes.
What Muggle team does Dean have a poster of in his bedroom?
The West Ham team.
Darn it. You're right. I feel like you were like, she's going to ask me this question.
Well, it's come up before, like, not in trivia, but, like, he's had it on his thing every year.
I think maybe the second or third time it's been mentioned.
I wonder if that, like, caused friction. Not that one, but in that part of the chapter, it said that Seamus put up the, like, something for Ireland on his four-poster, and then Dean put up a Victor Crumb poster. And I was like, whoa, are we having a little bit of...
I feel like maybe they were okay with it because they both got to play.
Yeah, like Crumb had his shine, and
yeah, it was
Ireland
like,
won anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so your next question. Let's see. Would you like a 50-50 question? It's like you got two options, and only one of them is correct, but it's only two options.
Okay, let's do it.
Which Patil twin is in Ravenclaw?
Oh my gosh, wait. What? Okay, it's Pavarti and Padma, right?
Those are the two names.
Those are the two. Oh my god. Padma is in Ravenclaw.
Is that your final answer?
Oh my gosh, you scared me when you asked me that question.
I do it every time.
Yes.
You know what? It takes a true champion to stick to their guns, even when they're wrong. But that's not what happened here. You got it right. Yay!
Why is my brain is like Pavarti is mentioned so much more? Like, why would it be?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. All right, now that wraps up our Quizzitch section. I got 1.5. You got 1, and so I am
0.5 up, right?
Yeah, no, I am 1.5 up.
Oh, because you're already ahead.
Yeah,
by
I was
one.
ahead by
Darn
1.
it.
So
Sorry,
1.5
sorry,
up.
world. I'm not a really good
That's okay.
person to represent you right now.
Anyway, this is the part where I would normally ask you your question, listeners, but I don't have one written down right now. So Future Barry will pop back in to tell you the answer from last week's question and to give you this week's question. Hello. Your question last week, dear listeners, was which book was Jenny mending with Spellotape in the Mayhem at the Ministry chapter? Which book was Jenny mending with Spellotape? The answer to that question was 1,000 Magical Herbs and Fungi. If you got that right, congratulations. If you got it wrong, better luck next time. Next time being right now. Your question this week, dear listeners, is, can you give me one of the names of the students who were sorted into Hufflepuff House in Harry's 4th year? I think there were 3, so if you can give me one of their names, you will get this week's question correct. If you want to answer that question, feel free to write into theretoldpodcast@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at theretoldpodcast. Anyway, back to the podcast. Thank you, Future Barry. Much appreciated. Now, we're going to get rocking, Emily, with our chapter coverage. Are you ready to go?
I am very ready.
Good. Listeners, if you're new here, what we do on this podcast is I will recap what happens in each chapter. This week, we're covering chapters 11 and 12. I'll recap the chapter. Then at the end of each chapter recapping, We will both highlight our favorite lines. Then we'll talk about we'll have a transfiguration section where we talk about differences that the movies made from the books. And then we will have a golden snitch section where we talk about behind the scenes, extra lore things that are included in the chapter that you might just have read over quickly. And then we do it all again for the next chapter. And at the very end, we have our spoiler section known as the restricted section where we talk about spoiler stuff for the rest of the series. So if you do not want to be spoiled, fear not. All right. We will do our best to try to avoid what spoilers we can. So here we go. Chapter 11. Aboard the Hogwarts Express. Summer is over early, Emily. Boo.
Boo.
It's raining a whole lot outside. How British. Especially because it's like summer. And I'm like, let's do it.
It's
in
raining in
summer.
the summer?
When here, where we live in the South, in America, it's like, it's baking that time of year.
And it's humid too.
It's not fun. On the last morning of the holiday, they are about to have some brekkie when they are greeted by a floating head in their fireplace. Quite naturally, Mrs. Weasley is all in a tizzy about this. And she's like, somebody get Arthur. And then my next note was like, it's for him. Like a little phone call. It's for Arthur. But who's that floating head? It's Amos Diggory. And he's like, hey, Arthur, got some crazy stuff going on. We found ourselves in quite the pickle and we need your help. What's that pickle? Well, apparently, former Auror, and an Auror is a dark wizard catcher, Emily. I don't know if you knew this.
I didn't know that.
Just so you know. But a former Auror, Mad-Eye Moody, is in an altercation and a spot of bother with some policemen, or as Amos calls them, pleasemen. That was almost a question if you could have remembered.
Oh, I would have gotten that. Because that cracks me up every time.
Yeah,
Please,
the policemen. They're here to please. LOL. But Moody heard somebody trying to be all sneaky on his property, and Moody definitely believes in the stand your ground law. So he sicked his magical trash cans on them.
Get out of here. Get off my
Get
lawn.
now. So he sicks his trash can on him. Arthur's like, I bet I'm on my way to help out. I love the toast scene because Amos turns to Molly and he's like, so sorry, taking your husband away. I know it's like day at home or something. It's really early, but we really need him. And she goes, no problem. You want some toast? He's like, all right, fine. And he gives him toast through the fire.
He's like, nom, nom, nom. Like,
is that the chapter art for this one? I know I've seen artwork for that before.
I think it's the trunks.
Oh, that
would have been really funny to draw though.
I'm sure like in some of the new, they've been coming out with tons of illustrated editions for these. I'm sure that's got to be a picture. But anyway, so I love that scene. Arthur leaves, and then everyone starts talking all about Mad-Eye Moody and how he used to be this super formidable dark wizard catcher. But lots of people nowadays just think that he's this paranoid older guy. But hey, he's friends with Dumbledore, and that's got to count for something. And I like Fred going, Dumbledore's not that like put together as well.
He's a little batty too.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's time to head off to King's Cross. I love the note of Mrs. Weasley. It says she braved the telephone in the post office. And I thought that was a funny line. It's like, all right, I'm going to go do it.
I'm going to use the telephone.
One of the things, so I understand that like, this is going to sound so weird. I always have the worst qualifiers for my sentences. But like at my house, the way in my marriage that it works, like we have certain roles that I do. And again, I'm not saying every relationship has to work like this. This is just how me and my wife like to do things. If we drive somewhere, we both prefer for me to drive. If one of us has to like, go up to somebody to talk about an issue, like I'll be the one that goes up, like kind of traditional, what like the man would do in the past. Again, doesn't have to be, that's what we do. And some of the time though, I wonder, like when I die, is my wife going to be bad at these things? Like I think about her driving in Atlanta. I never let her drive in Atlanta, but I don't like for, cause it's a stressful thing to drive through Atlanta. And I'm like, she's not used to it. And I wonder like when I die, is this going to be something that she's like the old woman who can't go anywhere because that kind of sounds sad once you say it like that.
I get calls like that actually at my job a lot, like older women who or even older men, because women do make a lot of household decisions, but I work in insurance. So they're like, well, my husband died last year and I just don't know. Like, I never do these things. And so I usually have
Mhm.
to like walk them through. So it's like, it low key is kind of common.
Yeah, like what is it? The other day, when our baby was born, my wife, the woman basically does all the work in regards to carrying and delivering. So I was like, I got to contribute something. So I made sure that she didn't change a single diaper for like the first 4 days. It was all
Oh,
me. But then I thought, oh no, what if when I leave the house and she's by herself for the first time and she's never changed what if she gets nervous? What if she doesn't know how to do it? And like, obviously it's a dumb thing to like
yeah.
think she's gonna know, but it's just a thought that crossed my mind. Why do we bring that up? No reason. Anyway, so Molly braves the telephone, but that's kind of what I thought of, like Molly,
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna do it now, since Arthur can't answer the telephone. So where am I in my notes? We'll see if all that gets cut. Anyway, they do have a rough taxi drive there. I wrote down, not a good look for cats, Emily, because this is when the fireworks go
To
off.
be fair, he was scared
Mm-hmm.
and afraid.
Emily loves cats.
I do
Listeners.
love cats.
I love cats too. I really want to get one, but we just had baby. However, literally as we were leaving the hospital, there was a kitten.
It's a
And
sign.
I was like,
You
if
should've
my
scooped it.
daughter didn't have like 1 day's worth of immune system experience,
Yeah.
I would so throw that thing in here.
Valid.
Anyway, so not a good look for cats or fireworks. There's a funny line where it says, by this point, Harry like was really good at getting on the Hogwarts, or had no trouble getting on the Hogwarts Express. And I was like, I would hope so. It's your 4th time. What do you mean by
Well,
this point?
he's had some difficulties in the past.
That's fair. That's a
be
good
fair.
point. Yeah, not every year has gone smoothly. My next note is they super cool guy passed the barrier, because it says they like they all
They, like,
nonchalant.
lean.
Yeah,
The most nonchalant. Wait, have you seen those videos where they're like, how can you open the elevator in the most like nonchalant way?
Yes,
Like they're
that's
all
what
like,
they're
that's
doing.
exactly what they're doing.
Oh my gosh, you give me my meme for the week. That's
Yes.
perfect. And there's that one, the guy that throws his hat and he like
Yes.
turns around. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Anyway, Pigwidgeon sees the Hogwarts Express and he gets hype. Like he's tooting all the way.
He's so cute.
I wrote, bro, I get it. But they all say goodbye to the older Weasleys. Charlie's all like, you might be seeing me a little sooner than you expect. But
Wank wank.
But he won't tell them, the little stinker. He won't tell them, the little stinker. I know words. Bill and Mrs. Weasley hop in on the teasing too. Fred and George and Ron, they can't stand it. Sorry, boys, it's a secret. Put down one line that was really funny to me was Mrs. Weasley saying, well, dears, I'd invite you for Christmas, but I think you're going to want to stay over at Hogwarts this year. But I love the phrasing of, I would invite you, but you wouldn't want to. And I just thought, I need to start using that in my daily life. Of like when I have events and stuff, I'd invite you over, but you don't want to do it. I had that happen literally with my neighbor. I was, the other day I was thinking, I have neighbors. I see them sometimes. I want to be kind to them. I want to form a relationship with them. Like they used to do that back in like the 50s,
Yeah.
Let's bring some of that back. It's kind of cool. So I'm talking to my neighbor who's been a really chill guy. And I just suggested having a dinner sometime, our two families. And he goes in the most polite, kind way, big old smile on his face. And he knew at this point Bailey was pregnant. And he goes, oh, you don't want to do that. You have so much going on. You have so much going on anyway. Nah, it's all right. Don't even worry. You have so much going on. And he walked away and I was like, did this man just tell me my schedule? Like that's
You're
how
too
he said
busy,
no.
actually.
Yeah, that's how he said no. But anyway, so that was what I thought with Mrs. Weasley going, I'd invite you, but you don't want to. Anyway, time for the train to take off. So they load up and they find a compartment. They have the most wonderful luck. They manage to pick the very compartment that is next to Malfoy and his goobers.
Yay!
I wrote down, you'd like that, Emily. He hypes up Durmstrang some, Malfoy does, says his dad thinks that it's really dope because they love the dark arts over there, but his mama didn't want him to go too far.
Aw.
Our trio shut the compartment door the whole way to block out the... I love this little pun I made.
Mm-hmm.
They shut the compartment door the whole way to block out the Malfoy noise. And then I wrote Malfoys ? question mark?
Malfoys.
Like Malfoy and Noise combined together, so it's OISE at the end
That
of
is
it.
a dad joke.
Malfoy. I don't need this book.
He's transforming in front of our eyes right now.
I've reached my final form. And they all get to chatting about magic schools and where to find them. Emily, did you know that Hogwarts was unplottable?
I did know that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, a Quizzitch record would kind of suggest that you didn't.
Oh.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You got me.
I'm just kidding.
You got me.
But it's unplottable, meaning you can't plot it on a map, listeners. So if you try to look for it on a map, it wouldn't be there. Durmstrang, I also mentioned that. They're also like super secretive, and Hermione thinks that they are in the super far north. Do you know why, Emily?
Because it's cold and they got capes. Oh, wait, she thinks it's cold because they have capes.
Okay,
and fur capes.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I can't have you ruin my joke.
Okay,
so,
never mind.
So you're gonna have to go. No, I don't. Let's try it again. Do you know why, Emily?
No, I don't.
Because they got the capes with the furs. Oh my goodness. And then Ron's line is crazy where he says, "Oh, what a pity that like Malfoy's mom loves him. It would be so easy to just shove him off a glacier and pretend that nothing happened." I was like, holy frick, Ron.
He's angsty right
Yeah.
now.
He's on one, as the kids would say. And probably like millennials said that, I guess, and kids don't
Yeah.
really talk like he's 6-7ing. All of a sudden, Malfoy walks in. He starts making trouble. Oh, wait, no, that's not happened yet. They have some of their friends stop by to chit chat. Ron rubs his really cool toy, his crumb toy, in Neville's face. He's like, "Hey, bet you wish you could have this."
And I'm like, Ron.
So he kind of gets what's coming to him when Malfoy
Yeah.
walks in. All of a sudden, Malfoy walks in, starts making trouble. He brings out the old classics, calls Ron a poor.
We need to get new material, though.
He does. Well, he kind of does. Speaking of new material, clothing material, he sees Ron's robes, and this is a great episode, listeners. Save this one. Sees Ron's robes. And he's like, "What are those, Weasley?"
What
Now,
are those? Sorry, that's so.
I love it.
I aged
Love it.
myself.
Love
so
it.
Okay.
In the chapter, though, it says something like he points at Pigwidgeon's cage because the robes are over the cage, and he says, "What is that?" I think that's what he says. But I remember when I was reading it thinking, is he about to make fun of Pigwidgeon? But no, he's making
No.
fun of
He
the
would
robes.
never.
Then Malfoy starts talking about some competition, about to our squad, something coming up at Hogwarts that they don't know nothing about. And he's like, I guess your dad's not important enough, like my father. So Malfoy ends up leaving the room, though, after he thoroughly ticks off Ron and all of them. Ron breaks the door, and Hermione has to hit it with a little reparo, which I always forget that, like, magic is allowed on the Hogwarts Express, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's usually just at Hogwarts, but it's allowed on the Hogwarts Express, so that's okay. And then, this was going to be your other question. What does he squish? What pastry?
Oh, cauldron cake.
A cauldron
I didn't even
cake. Look at that. It's on the video. No, but she didn't look.
I didn't.
She got it right. All right. So he squishes a cauldron cake. And it's a raining outside. They get off. They say hey to Hags, who's just this big old wet lump out in the storm. And Harry's just all worried about him, like those first years are going to drown.
Yeah.
But they board the nice comfy carriages back up to the school with Neville. And I wrote down a carriage ride would be cool, like at Universal, if they were to make one of the rides the carriage ride to Hogwarts. And then think about this, listeners, think about this. So at Universal, they got the motorbike ride, Hagrid's motorbike.
Mhm.
They've got the Quidditch, like journey, mysterious journey, whatever.
Yeah. Forbidden journey.
Forbidden Journey, that's right. Then they have the Gringotts one, Escape from Gringotts, and they also have now the new one, the Battle with the Ministry. But they could also do one where you're in the carriages with some creatures. I won't say what. Spoiler. But you're in the carriages, and like maybe things go awry, and you get led through the forest.
Ooh, that would be cool.
You end up diving into the lake. All right.
Ooh, they could redo. Never mind.
You're about to say some stuff later in this book.
No, I was gonna say, like, when are they gonna get rid of certain lands that I find less savory, but I don't want to cause discourse.
certain land?
Like the Simpsons land. I'm sorry. It's
Oh,
so
I thought you were thinking about
dated
like,
and like they need to get
yeah.
rid of it. But I'm
Mhm.
also like they couldn't make the immersion.
Yeah, Bailey and I were talking about that the other day of, now that we have a baby, we're like, I guess we're going to go to some parts of the park now that we normally just skip over, like Dr. Seuss
Yeah.
land. I love
You don't ride the Cat in the Hat every time you go?
I've never been on it once.
Oh my
Literally,
gosh.
Cat in the Hat, like that Dr. Seuss land, we just walk through it every single time. And it, like, I am viscerally bothered by their noses. Like the way that the makeup
Yeah.
works and the way they do it, like really bothers me. I'm just like, that's not what a
hilarious.
face should do. If you've ever seen Soul Eater, the anime, that's what their noses are like in that. We've all seen it, Barry. I know. You guys are great. But yeah, I think they were talking at Battle of the Ministry. There's a plot of land huge behind it at Epic Universe that there's talks of either making it a City Walk 2.0 or an extension to the Harry Potter land over there.
Oh, I
So
hope it's an
cool.
extension.
that could be cool. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter. Yay! Moving on now to our favorite lines. Favorite lines from chapter 11. I think I have 3. Emily, what you got?
Let's see what I have. This is a interaction between George, sorry. George and Percy. And they're talking, and Percy says, I just can't justify taking more time off at the moment. He told them, Mr. Crouch is really starting to rely on me. And George says, yeah, you know what, Percy? I reckon he'll know your name soon.
That's right. Similarly, mine's another Fred line. Oh, no, sorry. You said to George line, but this is a Fred line. Your father thinks very highly of Mad-Eye Moody, said Mrs. Weasley sternly. Yeah, well, Dad collects plugs, doesn't he? Said Fred quietly as Mrs. Weasley left the room. Birds of a feather. I love that. What's another one you got?
This is a Malfoy line because he is so evil and mean, but he's so funny. Ron's telling Neville, we saw him right up close as well. We were in the top box. And Malfoy just jumps in for the first and last time in your life, Weasley.
Jeez. Yeah, that's a rough one. All right, one of mine. Come off it, said Ron, starting to laugh. Durmstrang's got to be about the same size as Hogwarts. How are you going to hide a great big castle? But Hogwarts is hidden, said Hermione in surprise. Everyone knows that. Well, everyone who's read Hogwarts a history anyway. Just you then, said Ron. And then again, just right after, so go on. How'd you hide a place like Hogwarts? He's like, just get his insult in, and he's like, all right, now get to the point. Like, geez, Ron. Did you have any more for this chapter? That was all mine, because you said one of mine.
Yeah, I think my other one got mentioned already.
There.
Oh, the pushing Malfoy off the glacier, because I thought that was hilarious.
Good, good. Now we will move on to our Transfiguration section. And this is the part of the episode where we talk about differences that the movies made from the books. All right, Emily, I'm going to need your help on this one. All right. I feel like most of this is a like just omitted chapter, but I didn't take these notes beforehand. So we're looking at the wiki right now. What is it? It says aboard the Hogwarts Express. In the book, the first time Mad-Eye Moody is mentioned is before Harry and the others leave the burrow for the train. That's correct. We read that. Arthur Weasley leaves to go check on Moody after he reported having been attacked. In the film, there is no mention of Moody until he is seen approach. Okay, so it's just a
they
omission.
do that like really spooky, ominous like figure in the distance.
Yeah, like
in the
Dr.
rain.
Frankenstein type thing or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Which
so it's
is
just
cool.
it is cool. So this is really just an omission and a lot of I'm trying to think of any, like Ron's robe isn't brought up here at all. Remember,
No,
it doesn't.
he only finds it later on.
Yeah, but we highlighted that last episode. So I guess we really don't have much in way of transfiguration for this. Just omissions. I'm trying to think
Do
of
they
any other
mention
changes.
The tournament, like
The
in a
tournament.
vague way to them at all, or is it like
I
I can't remember.
don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I think the first time the tournament's brought up is at I got our first change. All right, our actual change in the movie. And I did say this in the earlier chapters when it happened, but in the movie, on the train to Hogwarts is when Harry writes the letter and sends it to Sirius with Hedwig.
Okay.
But in the book, that's already happened. That took place like back when in chapter 2 when Harry was at Privet Drive.
Yeah.
So, there's your transfiguration, listeners. I knew we could find it. All right.
Yay.
Magic, just bunny out of a hat. All right. We do this. We're professionals. All right. Moving on now to our golden snitch section. Speaking of being professionals, I don't have any written. I mean, I did write them down, but hold on.
Ooh.
Okay. Let me type these in. I'm going to have to edit. Another transfiguration. I just remembered. I know I had that full outro where I was like, we're professionals. Well, sometimes professionals, they make mistakes too. But they're professional enough to at least admit when they were wrong. Another change is that it's here in this chapter is when Harry is told the definition of an Auror. But in the movie, that doesn't happen until he's inside the Great Hall, right when Mad Eye walks in. So we don't hear about Mad Eye until that moment. But anyway, all right. So Golden Snitches, Golden Snitches, behind the scenes, lore, tids and bits, all that good stuff. An Auror, first one is Auror. An Auror was a wizard or witch that worked as a highly trained law enforcement official for a wizarding governing body. Auror training was extremely difficult and intensive, so there were few qualified applicants. Aurors of different countries dealt with different high-risk situations that were most prominent to them. Their training and areas of responsibility varied greatly depending on the type of threats which were prepared. All right, this is all boring. Let's get to some fun stuff.
Oh, that's cool. So, founders Eldritch Diggory.
Oh, the founder of the Auror British Department was Eldritch Diggory, so that's got to be related somehow.
To Amos.
Yeah, Amos. And the USA, the founder of that one was Josiah Jackson.
Okay.
It sounds cool. All right. And the British one was founded in 1733. It says between 1733 and 1747. Wow. Make up your mind. It's got to be one or the other. All right, well, let's keep going. So they're basically just like dark wizard catchers. Barry, the text already said that. I know, but I was just giving you a nice summary. Some etymology for the word Auror, though. Auror may have been derived from the word aurora, meaning the dawn, from the Latin word aurorum, meaning gold, or from the Hebrew word arur, meaning someone who is cursed. That is a widely varying difference of meanings there. Most likely, however, thank you. It is derived from the Latin word for ear, auris, and the related adjective auroral. Who came up with this? Since Aurors are detectives. Oh, okay, I guess that works. Among other policing and justicial roles? That can't be right. Justicial?
Whoa. Okay.
I think it's justicial.
Justicial.
Listeners need to see this, and whenever
I'm like, I gotta pull the glasses down so I can read.
Yeah, they are those who listen for and receive information. Alternatively, it is derived from aurora. I already said that. All right, forget this. That was dumb. Behind the scenes, Aurors can easily be comparable to elite Muggle national law enforcement officials, intelligence operatives, or military units such as the MI5, MI6, SAS, SBF, RAF regiment. Okay. So saying they're like super cool, like MI6, that's 007 right there. All right. Mad Eye Moody, 007.
Mm-hmm. Some require excellent academic credentials.
That's true. They got to have we learned about that in the next book of what scores they have to get on their OWLs. But I won't spoil that, listeners. But that's all you get for Aurors because, it's kind of boring now. My next one. What's your next one, Barry? Hold on. Durmstrang. The Durmstrang Institute was one of the 3 largest wizarding schools in Europe, the other 2 being Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and Beauxbatons Academy of Magic. That's not how you say it. Located in the far north of the continent, the school was willing to accept international students from as far afield as Bulgaria. I need a world map because in my dumb head, I just thought Bulgaria is in the north, but it's not, is it?
It's not.
Oh, shoot.
We are definitely sounding like Americans right now.
Bulgaria
So sorry.
on the world map.
I'm thinking it's going to be up there.
Yeah. Listeners, it's definitely not in the far north, just so you know. There it is.
I feel like in school in America, they focus a lot on the United States map.
We got a lot of states over here. We got a lot of places
And
we got to learn from, learn about.
We do learn this stuff, but I think the retention is just not there.
So it's next to Serbia and Greece and Turkey, I think.
Romania.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
so I guess they do have a little a wide field of people that they pull from. It's existed since 1294. Durmstrang was one of the 3 schools that competed in the Triwizard Tournament. We'll learn about that next chapter, so it's not necessarily a spoiler. And was notorious for prominently featuring the dark arts in its curriculum. Durmstrang only admitted purebloods, but individual students didn't necessarily share this prejudice.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, that's good point. Okay. I won't say nothing. Spoilers. Location, we already talked about that. It was unplottable. Durmstrang, found in the Middle Ages by the great Bulgarian witch Nerida Volkanova. She was succeeded after her mysterious death by Professor Harfang Munter, who established Durmstrang's reputation for emphasizing martial magic, and dueling as an impressive part of its curriculum.
Okay.
Let's see what else. Cockatrice. Now I got to read it. Around 1294, the Triwizard Tournament was established as a friendly competition between Durmstrang, Hogwarts. We've been talking about this, but in 1792, a cockatrice went on a rampage and injured the heads of all the schools. The Triwizard Tournament was then suspended indefinitely, only restarting in 1994. What I like about that is that it's the heads of the schools, not the students.
So what is a cockatrice?
Well, let's find out, Emily. Good question. A cockatrice was a magical creature resembling a rooster with a lizard's tail. How big did it get? Like, if it hurt
how
them.
is that gonna?
Often described as a 2-legged dragon with a rooster's head. Okay. Listen, we're getting tons of varying descriptions. This creature is not featured in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This is probably because Newt Scamander only intended the book to be an introduction to magic zoology, not a complete guide. I think maybe Newt didn't know about the cockatrice. Maybe.
Interesting.
Levi Penfold included a cockatrice on the Slytherin crest for the Slytherin House Edition book. Oh.
It's kind of scary.
Dude, let's show that to the camera. Look at that.
This is the D&D version of it. Oh my gosh.
Is it?
You might have to paste the image right there.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's them, I guess. During the late 20th century, so this is the teaching style for them. During the late 20th century, the educational style of Durmstrang was very ruthless. The professors were highly strict, not allowing the students to do anything but listen to them. Lessons were delivered in a dull lecture style, with students not allowed to take notes and expected to memorize the professor's words. When learning spells, no wand work was allowed in classes. Students were expected to grasp the theory within the class itself, and students weren't dismissed until a pop quiz had been taken.
Oh
Jeez, this place stinks. Malfoy, you wouldn't want to have gone, bro. The charms professor at Durmstrang had been teaching for several decades. Okay, that's not important. Frequently, when teaching spells like the fire-making spell, students were only taught how to produce the most intense effects with the spell without learning the finer points of wand work. So basically just like, hey, go kill people. Go wreak some havoc. Behind the scenes, listeners, in an interview with Accio quote, J.K. Rowling stated that she thought Durmstrang was in Scandinavia in the far north of either Sweden or Norway. It is, however, depicted on maps featured on Pottermore as being in a more southern location in the southernmost part of Finland and into Russia, right above Lake Ladoga, roughly. Whether this is a change in canon or an error on the part of the artist of the map is uncertain. They need to get that fixed, all right?
Yeah, that's serious.
In the film, the coat of arms for Durmstrang is shown to be a double-headed eagle and also features the school's name in both Latin and Cyrillic script. This symbol is strongly akin to the two-headed eagle symbol of Tsarist Imperial Russia. Well, that's nice. Let's see. What else? Ooh, this is interesting. Given the proximity of the two schools, it is likely that Muggleborns born in the Durmstrang area would have been educated in Koldovstorets. Instead, given that school accepted Muggleborns. I've never heard of you.
Wow.
Koldostorets was the Russian wizarding school. It was one of the 11 wizarding schools with the International Confederation of Wizards. Okay, well, that's great. Let me read this last one, see if it's worth anything. Durmstrang may be inspired by Svartsikoli. I'm so sorry. A school from Icelandic folklore about Sigfusson, the priest and scholar. It is alleged to be a foreign school run by the devil, at which students learn black magic. The school is said to be pitch black within, similar to Victor Crumb's description of the fires not often being lit at Durmstrang. In actual historical records, this saint is said to have studied in the Franconia region of Germany. Yeah, I'm done with all that. Anyway, so that's all your golden snitches. Yay!
There's almost too much lore going on.
Yeah,
here.
it needs its own episode. Anyway, that's all we got for golden snitches. Emily, are you ready to move on to our next chapter?
I am ready.
Chapter 12, the Tri-Wizard Tournament. I feel like they're using these names, like chapter names, a little too early. Like they had a chapter name for one was Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. And I was like, they should have saved that for
Yeah.
a different book. Anyway, chapter 12, the Tri-Wizard Tournament. As we said before, it's raining. We mentioned that, right? The kiddos head on into the entrance hall to what they think is a nice, safe, warm, water-free area. But psych, Peeves is dropping water balloons on everybody. Not nice. And then I wrote
nice.
down poor Harry's socks because it says his socks get all drenched. And that
Poor
would be
Harry's
awful.
socks. Poor Ron.
Who cares? He's been a butthole this whole trip.
Yeah, he kind of deserves it.
Yeah. And so my next note was Mick G slide. Because I like when she comes running in, it's just she skids. And I was like, I cannot picture Dame Maggie Smith being like, oh, like sliding and like catching onto Hermione.
Yeah, and she like grabs her by the back of the neck
Mhm.
too, which I was like, oh my God, I would not.
I wonder if like obviously, like I said, I couldn't picture Dame Maggie Smith, but I can't remember who they casted. I wonder if it's a younger McGonagall, to would
Oh,
sort
for
of
the
be able
HBO
to,
Max
yeah, who would be
show?
able to do something like that.
Yeah.
But Mick G slide takes place when she reprimands Peeves. He does have something of a defense. He's like, didn't do anything, or not did nothing is what he said.
Yeah.
Not did nothing. They're already wet, and then he throws more water balloons at him, and he's kind of right. Anyway, he scoots on out of there, and our heroes enter into the lovely, nice, great hall, and it's all cozy. Harry does his best Gandalf. Okay, so have you seen The Hobbit?
Like the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they came out in theater.
Yeah, well, there's that scene.
time
Didn't
ago.
we go see it in theaters together?
I
Me,
think
you-
we might have.
Yeah, me,
but,
you,
like,
and Callie saw the third one, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, can you? That's crazy.
How many years ago was that? That's like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I loved our little trio. That
I
was
know.
fun. Anyway, where were we? So Harry does his best Gandalf. Okay. And what I mean by that is when he goes up to the Gryffindor table, Sir Nicholas says, "Good evening." And Harry goes, "Who says?" And that's a reference in my head. It kind of seems like when Gandalf walks up to Bilbo and Bilbo says, "Good morning." And Gandalf goes, "What do you mean by that? Like, are you calling this morning a good morning? Are you saying it's a morning to be good on? Or are you simply wishing me a good morning?" And Bilbo's like, all of them at once, I guess. I don't know. Give me
Whatever you
vibes of
want.
that. And then I also wrote down, there's a bit of uncharacteristic, like, not impatience, but attitude from Harry in this part.
Yeah.
Like, this would be something that Ron would say.
I feel like maybe Ron's energy was kind of rubbing off on Harry because he's been kind of grumpy and moody this whole time.
Yeah. So he says here, like after he says who, hope they hurry up with the sorting. I'm starving. And it's just like that one line. I mean, it doesn't seem that significant when I'm reading it now, but like in the context of the chapter, it seemed, I don't know, it seemed very Ron annoyed thing to
Yeah.
say. And Harry's always like, I'm going to do the right thing type of
Mhm.
guy.
Well, it's weird too because right down like the next paragraph, he's like, he hasn't been present for a sorting in a while. He was
Mhm.
quite looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So why is he like, I hope they hurry up so I can eat?
Yeah. That's
but then
funny.
he's like, but I do want to see this.
That's funny. Editor should have caught that.
Yeah.
This is one of famously like the rushed book.
This one?
Mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah, like trying to meet a deadline, and there were certain things that like I think slipped through in this
Mm.
one. But anyway, we caught one. So Harry, like you said, he's never been to a sorting, and so he's all somewhat, I guess, excited for this one.
Yeah.
We get a Colin sighting, and Harry loves that. Harry, hey, Harry, Harry, guess what, Harry? Hi, Colin. Harry peeps the high table. We still don't know who the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher is. Patience, Harry. We'll find out soon. Dumbledore is posted up. Like, I'm about to drop some awesome stuff on these kids. Because when it highlights Dumbledore, it says he's like got his fingers together, just chin resting on them, looking up at the seal. Or no, his eyes are closed, but his head's up at the... Whatever the expression is, it's like, oh, they don't even know. They don't even know what I'm about to tell them. All the first years come marching in. The Dennis Creevy intro is wonderful. Just wonderful. Yeah. Before I get to that, I did think it was odd that like they didn't dry off the first years. Like there's a spell for that.
Yeah, like sometimes there's like certain things where I'm like, y'all do have wands and spells.
It's almost like they're freaking initiating them. Like
they're hazing them.
Yeah, hazing. Yeah. But anyway, I want to read this Dennis intro because I love it. They appeared to have swum across the lake rather than sailed. All of them were shivering with a combination of cold and nerves as they filed along the staff table and came to a halt in line facing the rest of the school. All of them except the smallest of the lot, a boy with mousy hair who was wrapped in what Harry recognized as Hagrid's moleskin overcoat. The coat was so big for him that it looked as though he were draped in a furry black circus tent. His small face protruded from over the collar, looking almost painfully excited. When he had lined up with his terrified-looking peers, he caught Colin Creevy's eye, gave a doubled thumbs up, and mouthed, "I fell in the lake." He looked positively delighted about it.
So cute.
Yeah, it's a wonderful intro. It's time for the hat song now. Yay! And the Sorting Hat basically like gives the Hogwarts origin story. You know, talks about, says some things that I kind of got right during Quizzitch, that you kind of got wrong during Quizzitch.
Yeah.
But whenever it's over, Harry's like, "Oh, that's cool. Does it always make a song?" Ron's like, "Every year. Probably really bored up there." Then the sorting begins, and I like Harry's inner monologue as it goes. You know, when the one kid gets sorted into Ravenclaw, he's like, "Maybe I want to go sit with Ravenclaw," because he sees a little Cho Chang over there. And then the one about the Slytherins, he's like thinking, "I wonder if that kid knows that they're like racist." Like that's like Harry's thought.
I'm like, all right, Harry, you need to tone it down.
Fred and George hiss at the guy.
It's like he's a kid, y'all. You don't even know him. Like, we need to chill.
Creevy's little brother, Dennis, goes to Gryffindor. Yay! And we get the squid story of him like, "I fell in the lake and then a little, like something pushed me back in." I was like,
that would be,
it was the tentacle.
Imagine, like being a Muggleborn and then like in your brother, you're both Muggleborns. But your brother goes and you hear all about it and you get chosen too. That'd be crazy.
It's you and Jonathan.
Right.
It's you and Jonathan.
Yeah.
Going to Hogwarts together.
Because some siblings don't. One doesn't have magical abilities.
Lily and Petunia.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be sick. Although it would be funny if your sibling didn't go and you did. It's like, sorry.
I gotta go to magic school.
I'm the chosen one.
And we saw how that manifested. So.
Ooh. The sorting comes to an end, and old Dumby says, "All right, y'all, time to eat." Everybody's hyped to hear that. Nearly Headless Nick says they're all lucky that there even was a feast tonight because Peeves almost ruined everything. He says that Peeves was in a foul mood because he couldn't go to the feast. And Emily, do you know what he decided to do? He started making all kinds of a ruckus in the kitchen. It even bothered the house elves.
House elves?
Hermione basically hears a needle scratch when he says this. Like, we got house elves at Hogwarts? Slave labor?
Slave labor.
And Nick says, yeah. Don't know why you're surprised. It's Hogwarts. We actually got the most in Britain. He's like proud of it. We got more than any other place in Britain. And Hermione says that they get treated with dignity though, right? And I picture that like Padme and Anakin meme. Like, they get treated with dignity, right? Right? And Nick's just, dignity? They don't want no dignity. No. It's very weird dialogue. So Hermione decides that she ain't eating no more. Finally, Dumbledore stands up. He's got some announcements to make. I love him smiling with like the Filch warning because he says, "Professor Filch wanted me to let you know." Is it Professor Filch? I don't know if he's professor or not. Mr. Filch.
Mr. Filch
wanted me to let you know to like not have these banned objects. And you can see the full list of these banned objects in his office. And it says like corners of his mouth slightly twitched as he said that.
Yeah, because he's being cheeky because he
Mhm.
says the full list compromises some 437 items, I believe.
Dang. He's like, we don't respect that guy. First bit is normal stuff in Dumbledore's speech because, he's talking about no Hogsmeade for those under third year, no forest trip either. You can't go in there. It's off limits. But then he does the unthinkable. He
Mm-mm.
says, they ain't going to be no Quidditch this year.
No
Everybody's,
Quidditch!
Quidditch? Everybody's like, what? You ain't gonna give me my Quidditch. I came here for beans and toast and Quidditch.
Bangers and mash and Quidditch. That's it.
Oh no. So he's about to explain why, but it is interrupted by the other really cool entrance of the chapter. It's Mad Eye's entrance. All right, because I need to read this because, especially that wood carved line is so
Yes.
cool. So
He's a cool guy.
He's a neat guy. Here we go. But at that moment, there was a deafening rumble of thunder, and the doors of the great hall banged open. A man stood in the doorway, leaning upon a long staff shrouded in a black traveling cloak. Every head in the great hall swiveled around toward the stranger, suddenly brightly illuminated by a fork of lightning that flashed across the ceiling. Ooh! He lowered his hood, shook out a long mane of grizzled dark gray hair, and then began to walk up to the teacher's table. So it talks about he's clunking along because he's got like a fake foot. But this is the cool part. The lightning had thrown the man's face into sharp relief, and it was a face unlike Harry had ever seen. It looked as though it had been carved out of weathered wood by someone who had only the vaguest idea of what human faces are supposed to look like, and was none too skilled with the chisel. Every inch of skin seemed to be scarred. The mouth looked like a diagonal gash, and a large chunk of the nose was missing. But it was the man's eyes that made him frightening. And it talks about Mad Eye's crazy eye.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, this is very much like my stick figure drawing when I finally tried to give it a face in elementary school. It just didn't look, only the vaguest idea of what a face looked like.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really cool description, a really cool one. Like that wood line, like of somebody who only had the vaguest idea. What a great descriptor for somebody. I love that. So anyway, so he gets interrupted by Mad Eye coming in. Only Dumbledore and Hagrid clap whenever he's like, by the way, this is your new dada. Yeah. Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher listeners,
Yeah.
So there you go, Harry. I told you would learn who the teacher was going to be. Patience. Then Dumbledore is like, back to business. We're having a Triwizard tournament, y'all. And the Fred moment is clutch.
Oh, I know. I love it.
You've got to be joking.
You're joking.
I got to stop doing this.
I know. Sorry, y'all.
You've got to be joking. I know that all they got to do is just start saying y'all to make fun of
I know.
us.
Y'all.
The worst one was when I did my joke earlier, I caught myself in the screen. Again, if they see it on YouTube, but my face was like, I was like, don't screenshot that. Anyway. But Fred's like, you got to be joking. And it makes everybody laugh. It's a wonderful tension reliever. And Dumbledore's like, no, sir, not joking. Matter of fact. But I do love, he goes, but I did hear this one joke over the summer about these 3 people go into a bar and McGonagall
was like,
that's a different character. So now it's time for exposition. Yay! And basically, Dumbledore just says, Triwizard Tournament's coming up. It used to happen every once in a while, but too many people died. It took place 700 years ago. All right.
I can't even imagine 700 years ago.
220, we're into 1300s. What's going on in the 1300s? I was a history major, but I don't quite remember.
What era was that? Like,
I believe it was Taylor Swift's.
No. the Meso.
God, no, don't you say that. You're about to say the Meso freaking, the Jurassic Park thing. No, it
I'm
was,
really pulling what I
no, it was the medieval ages. It was the medieval
I
ages.
love medieval times. I was
Big fan.
just there actually. So
Yeah, how was it?
it was fun.
Did your knight win?
No, he didn't.
Oh, big
It's
sad.
okay.
I've only
The-
had my knight win once.
I think one of the guys on our side did win though. So
Very good.
the
very
Red
good.
Knight or something.
I remember one time my knight was the traitor. Aww.
See, I don't know if I could do it. That's how much of a Gryffindor I
I
am.
gotta walk out after that.
I'd walk out.
But anyway, yeah, the last one was 700 years ago. It was a friendly competition between the largest European schools of Britain, the largest European schools of wizardry, Hogwarts, Beauxbatons, and Durmstrang. We learned all about that earlier. Here's one thing I didn't know. It took place every 5 years. I could have swore it was 4. Like if you had asked me how often this takes place, I would have said 4. I thought it was once every 4 years.
Well, what's your reasoning behind 4 versus 5?
It's the 4th book.
Okay.
It was one of those things that like I heard it one time and I just made sense. So I kept it and I backed it up in my mind with 4th book. Makes sense. You know?
Interesting.
Like it would take, and then because it's perfectly placed in the middle. So the next time it would be in what would have been their 8th year, but they don't have 8th year, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like perfectly.
That would suck if you were like right before the cusp and you couldn't do it. And then
I know it's your 3rd year.
Left.
Yeah.
And then they do it again.
3rd years got screwed in this one because if it's every 5 years, they don't get it. Oh, but yeah, every 5 years. I thought that was crazy. Dumbledore mentions that the death toll mounted too high. Hermione's like, death toll? Everybody's like, shut up, Hermione. We're listening to cool stuff. There have been several attempts over the centuries to reinstate the tournament, none of which has been very successful. However, like we have worked hard over the summer to ensure that this time no champion will find himself or herself in mortal danger. And it's like, I'm not too comforted by that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But everybody's like, hype. Let's go. We love a tournament. Tournament arc. Yay. So Dumbledore then says that Beauxbaton and Durmstrang will be joining them in October. Oh, and something about an impartial judge being the person you got to submit your name to, and that the winner gets 1,000 galleons of prize money. Also, you got to be 17 years old. Anyway, goodbye. He just like kind of drops that near the end of his speech. You have to be of age, 17 in the wizarding world. And a lot of people start getting upset when he says that. I always think
yes,
of
they can.
I think of in the movie when Fred and George just start shouting, "That's rubbish!" Like even before Barty Crouch, who says it in the movie, before he even finishes the sentence, people are already like, "Oh!"
I love it.
But people start to file out of the Great Hall. Fred and George complain some. They try to come up with a plan to hoodwink the impartial judge. They head back to the common room. Neville falls for the trick stare. And a suit of armor laughs at him, and that's kind of funny. But they make it all the way back to the common room. They get in their beds, and that's the end of the chapter. Yay! All right, Emily, what are some of your favorite lines?
Oh my gosh. Let me get them pulled up.
I'll go ahead and say my first
you
one.
go.
Yeah. This is right after Dumbledore says the joke. I really like this when he says, but maybe not this time. No. Where was I? Ah, yes, the Triwizard Tournament. Well, some of you will not know what this tournament involves, so I hope that those who do know will forgive me for giving a short explanation and allow their attention to wander freely. So one, that's just charming Dumbledore.
Mhm.
Love that phrasing. But the other thing I really liked about that was it's also, I felt very relatable. So doing this podcast, there are things I say every single episode. And like in the intro to the Quizzitch section of like explaining what it is every time or just a rundown of the episode. And most of my listeners obviously already know what's happening, but I'm saying it again for the new listeners.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, hope y'all check out and just wander just for a second, not too long, and then meet me back here for the start of Quizzitch.
Yeah.
So I understood what he was doing
It's
there.
relatable.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is a simple one, but it's, "Oh, hurry up," Ron moaned beside Harry. "I could eat a hippogriff." I just think it's funny because it's like little isms that we have in regular. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not like these are another species; they're just magic people. But like, it's like I could eat a horse, like
Yeah.
you know, but replace it with a hippogriff. I think
Or
it's cute.
freaking Merlin's beard.
Merlin's beard.
Merlin's pants. I think it's another one.
Yeah.
I have only 2 words to say to you, he told them, his deep voice echoing around the hall. Tuck in. Hear, hear, said Harry and Ron loudly as the empty dishes filled magically before their eyes. I always love that. Dumbledore, he knows what the people want, first and foremost. He goes, I got a lot of important things to say, but you're not going to listen unless you get these nom-noms first.
Mhm.
So here are your
Totally.
nom-noms. All right. So that's my other favorite line.
We did already do this. Actually, no, I'm not doing that one. Now, Ron, the sorting's much more important than food, said nearly headless Nick, as madly Laura became a Hufflepuff. Course it is, if you're dead.
Jeez.
Snapped Ron.
Yeah.
He's
That was
hangry.
hangry boy.
He's hangry.
Yeah, that one was like really abrupt. Like, geez, Ron, why would you say such a thing? But anyway, that's all the favorite lines I had for that chapter. Did you have any more?
The only other one I had was when Ron's looking at the poster
Mm-hmm.
and of the soccer players, and he goes, mental.
Yeah, like
Because they
pictures
don't
even
move.
Yeah.
Like, what even is that?
Moving on now, listeners, to our Transfiguration section. Again, differences that the movies made from the books. So for this one, what it says on the wiki, in the book, students from Beauxbatons and Durmstrang arrive on Halloween night. In the film, they arrive at the beginning of the school year. So that's true. Like how the movie unfolds is right after they get off the Hogwarts Express, there's that scene of Hagrid like, clear the runway. Nobody's welcoming the Beauxbaton carriage and the Durmstrang ships coming in, all those students. And it's like the very first day of the semester that they show up. Whereas in the book, it's later.
I'm trying to remember in the film, did they have like the whole school come? And they also made it seem like the schools were separated by gender. Yeah, so
that's another difference. But I guess we can talk. Oh, wait, we can say that here. Yeah, in the movie, whenever they do show up, that's kind of the vibe they go for, is that Durmstrang is an all boys and Beauxbaton's an all girl, but the book doesn't do that. What else? Okay, so then another change is that when the rules are being explained, as we said earlier, it's Barty Crouch who explains the rule change to all the students. And things, it's a movie, so things take place much quicker, but those are the big changes in this chapter, is that there is no, in the movie, there's no wait. It's right away, students there, and then rules and all that. And also the impartial judge is exposed right away.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, another change, I guess, is that when Mad-Eye Moody shows up, he doesn't, he's not introduced as the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher right away. He's just, Dumbledore greets him and then he walks to the table. Dumbledore doesn't go, hey, this is the guy. There's also no sorting ceremony. So there's no sorting ceremony there. No carriage ride. We don't get a carriage ride up to the castle. A lot of omissions, like normal. But all the house elf stuff is dropped. And then the other one is Mad-Eye Moody's eye. In the movie, it's like that freaking cyberpunk bulging thing, like that has an attachment that wraps around. Like it's almost like an eye patch attachment, but instead of the patch, it's that eye that swirls around. Whereas in the book, it's just, it seems to be described as actually in his socket. It doesn't have to be held there.
But it's the size of a coin. So it's like larger than his normal eye.
But still more eye-like.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've been coming across a lot more people that dislike the movies and the movie changes. But I like that change. I do like the cyberpunk look. I don't typically like cyberpunk stuff, but for Mad-Eye, I was like, that works. I enjoyed that.
Would you say that cyberpunk or steampunk?
Steampunk. Cyberpunk's a video game.
That's
Steampunk.
okay. They're similar sounding. I mean, they're, yeah.
Is that what she just did the 6-7 thing, listeners? Oh my goodness. Okay, and so that's all the Transfigurations. Moving on now to our golden snitches, which are behind the scenes, lores, tids and bits, things like that. So first one, I want to pull up all the ones that were like banned on Filch's list. The first one, Screaming Yo-Yo, was a magical toy that shrieked when a person played with it.
I would never have guessed that.
I don't like that. During Mundungus Fletcher's first year at Hogwarts, ooh, interesting. A few limited time promotion Screaming Yo-Yos were released that had flames drawn on their sides and produced a particularly musical scream. Both Mundungus and Rubius Hagrid were aware of this promotion. They go to school together at the same time. This has to be like Hogwarts mystery lore. The phone game.
Yeah. I played that for a while. It was actually really fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of like interesting lore in there. Some people kind of don't view it as canon, and that's fine, but
Nymphadora Tonks dared Jacob's sibling. That's definitely Hogwarts mystery.
Yeah. To use a screaming yo-yo to get Professor Ben's attention.
The attempt failed.
Oh. Behind the scenes, screaming yo-yos are available for purchase at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, just as the name suggests, they scream when used.
I don't know if I've ever I go into the Wizard Wheezes store, but I never look really close at the toys.
I do a little bit. And some I've seen some of these things, like that the wind up toy that they use whenever they go into the ministry that explodes.
The teeth.
Yeah. That's another one.
They have the ear. I know that.
Our next one, the Fanged Frisbee. A Fanged Frisbee was similar to a Muggle Frisbee, but, and if you could believe this, it had teeth and snarls. They were forbidden at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. You could find them at Zonko's. Fang Frisbees, they can be found at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter as well in Orlando. They are green with a reptile-like face and multiple teeth on the outside of the rim, outside on the rim of the disc. The package they are sold in also includes a handler's glove, inferring that the toy is sharp.
I was going to say, how do you even play with this? Like, what is even the point?
In Lego Harry Potter, years 5 through 7, Verity is trapped on the staircase in Weasley's Wizard Wheezes by 3 fanged frisbees. Fanged frisbee can be used in dueling in Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery after achieving a certain amount of wins in a dueling event released in 2020. And after completing Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery, Year 4, Saving Zonko's achievement, the player earns a limited edition fanged frisbee. That's nice. That's orange instead of green. How cool. Our next one that Filch does not want students to have, the ever-bashing boomerang. It was a magical joke product that swung back to repeatedly hit the thrower. Ooh. So it's like, it's almost like a freaking, those buzzers when you shake somebody's hand. Or no, more appropriately, because it like hurts the user. So it's like an electric pin. So here's a pin, my friend. The next one is the Beauxbatons Academy of Magic. The Beauxbatons Academy of Magic was the French wizarding school located in the Pyrenees Mountains of southern France. Oh, I thought we weren't supposed to know where they were. It was one of the 11 most prestigious wizarding schools in the world and was one of the 3 largest in Europe. The other 2, we already talked about them. The school took a number of its wizarding students from France, though large numbers also came from Spain, Portugal, and the Netherlands, as well as Luxembourg, Belgium, Beauxbaton, Luxembourg, and Belgium. Beauxbaton, in fact, had a larger studentship than Hogwarts. The school's coat of arms consisted of 2 golden wands crossed over one another, each shooting 3 stars. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at that.
That's nice.
Founded sometime before the 1290s, Beauxbatons had many noteworthy students over the years. Most prominent were Nicholas Flamel, the alchemist, famed for creating the Philosopher's Stone, and his wife Perenelle. Apart from the Flamels, famous ex-students of Beauxbatons included Vincent Duc de Triffier-Piquet, who escaped the terror by casting a concealment charm on his own neck to pretend that his head had already been cut off. This has to be...
What is the terror?
I don't know. What is the terror?
Oh.
Oh, is this like real thing?
Oh, like...
The topics of this... Oh, it's a real
French
thing.
Revolution.
Oh, shoot. This is legit. I knew what this was, obviously.
So he was trying to not get his head cut off, so he made it seem like his head was already cut off.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Smart guy. Let's see. He escaped the terror, casting a concealment charm on his own neck. We got Luc Millefeuille, the infamous pastry maker.
Oh, and Muggle Poisoner.
Aww.
No, wait, that's like, never mind.
What?
I was like, that's like Sweeney Todd, but he just,
Oh, no,
he just cooked people.
He cooked them. And then there's more stuff of characters we'll meet later. Expulsions were rare at Beauxbatons. During the 1920s, a Portuguese student was expelled, though, marking the school's first expulsion since 1802. This incident was notable enough to garner newspaper coverage.
That's such random lore.
The Palace of Beauxbatons was a beautiful chateau surrounded by majestic gardens and fountains magically created out of the surrounding mountains. The school looked very impressive despite having stood for over 700 years. In the dining chamber, wood nymphs serenaded the students while they ate. And at Christmas, the hall was adorned with great glittering, non-melting ice sculptures. It was said that the stunning castle on the grounds of this prestigious school were part funded by alchemist gold for Nicholas and Perenelle Flamel met at Beauxbatons in their youth, and a magnificent fountain in the middle of the school's park, believed to have healing and beautifying properties, was named after them. It also had its own Quidditch pitch and featured a view of the Pyrenees. Very nice. Education at Beauxbatons Academy was of a similar caliber to the education at Hogwarts. However, there were differences. Beauxbaton students took their examinations in their 6th year rather than their 5th year, so their OWLs. The students at Beauxbatons were taught to stand at attention when their head mistress entered the room, only sitting down when she herself sat, showing their great respect for her. They don't do that at Hogwarts. And for their uniforms, they wore pale blue robes made of fine silk.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. You know what? Screw this. There's not that much cool behind the scenes stuff here. There's way too much. I should have looked it up
Yeah, the
beforehand.
lore's crazy.
But anyway,
Okay, between the 3 schools,
Yeah.
if you had the opportunity to go to one of them,
mm-hmm.
which one would you pick?
Hogwarts.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, Bobatons is pretty sick. Like all the
Yeah.
things we just heard, it's pretty sick. And I'm sure like that view of the mountains is nice, but it seems a little more strict. You know, Hogwarts is kind of,
that's true.
it's more fun, you know.
Hogwarts is my home.
Hogwarts is my home.
I think I would pick Durmstrang. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, oh my
No,
goodness.
I think
It'd be so easy to push you off a glacier.
I know, right? I think Bobaton would be like my second choice, like very close.
Mhm.
But I think I would also pick Hogwarts.
Yeah. The last one I had pulled up was the Triwizard Tournament, but we kind of said a lot about it already. So I'm just trying to think. They'll explain some of the rules as we progress later in the book. Like the heads of each house are the judges, not the impartial judge who decide who gets in, but they judge the competitions, award point totals. There have been, this one's interesting. There have been at least 125 editions of the tournament. Hogwarts had 63 wins and Bobatons had 62. Ooh.
Wait, so
I wonder if that's
Durmstrang never won?
what? That's crazy.
There's just no way because there's no way. I don't believe that. Because the way they're taught, like they should be ruthless.
They should be.
But maybe it's like they're taught brute force, not cleverness.
Maybe they're big stupid heads. And you kind of just said that. But yeah. What else? That's crazy. Durmstrang never won?
I don't know.
Oh, so this is okay. Bit of a correction. The Triwizard Tournament was first established some 700 years ago. 1994 minus 700 equals 1294. However, Pottermore notes that Hogwarts has 63 wins and Bobatons has 62. So a minimum of 125 tournaments have been held if Durmstrang has no wins. 125 tournaments every 5 years equals 625. So unaccounted for then is like 75 years. Taking the last traditional Triwizard Tournament in 1794, so minus 625 equals 1169. Even if some of the wins accounted for on Pottermore are from modern day tournaments 1994 and after, the latest date possible for the first tournament is around 1194. Listen, that was a lot of math that I should have done ahead of time. But long story short, Durmstrang sucks. Anyway, that's all my golden snitches. Are you looking up something?
I was just looking up that, and there's people on Reddit talking about it because it's like the same thing. They're like, "You're telling me that they never won one time?"
Not once.
That's crazy.
And now, after that wonderful journey trying to find our golden snitches, we were seekers catching the snitches.
And we caught them.
We caught them, every single one. None of them got away. Moving on now. That's the end of our regular episode, listeners. So if you do not want any spoilers, any more spoilers that we already said this episode, because we probably already said a few. But if you don't want any more, thank you so much for listening. Look forward to having you back next week, where we'll be joined by Dan from Hogwarts, a podcast. Can't wait to have him back. And so yeah, check that out. But we're hopping now into our restricted section.
Restricted section.
The graveyard.
The graveyard.
So I have a few things written down. I'll mention these, and then if we have anything else, we can talk about it. First, let's mention the horseless carriages. Talking about that on their way up to the school. And again, that being significant because they're not horseless.
They're not.
There's not horses per se, but they are being pulled by the Thestrals.
Yes.
And significant because at the end of next book, that's when they get or at the beginning of next book, that's when they get their shout out. I'm wondering, the second year he doesn't ride the carriages. The third year, are the carriages, I think they're mentioned in that last book, but
I would also like wonder the specifics because wouldn't Harry technically be able to see the Thestrals?
yeah, technically no, because it's also stated that like you have to be able to comprehend what you saw when they died. Now, there was one thing I wanted to look up, and so I'll do that with you here right now. But at one point, Nearly Headless Nick says, I don't want to ruin Gryffindor's 3-year win streak of winning the House Cup. And I don't think it ever says who won the House Cup in book 4. So I'm wondering if maybe the wiki will say, did Gryffindor win the House Cup in Book of Mormon? Yeah. So it doesn't, this here says we don't know.
Yeah, because at least in the movie, the kind of what would be the House Cup like ceremony, they're doing kind of a memorial service or like mourning Cedric, so they don't have any of the flag things
Yeah, they don't have that
decorated.
What is it when Dumbledore's like, I believe a change of decoration? Could you imagine at the end of the funeral when he goes,
And he's
a
like,
change of decoration is in order?
It is like Gryffindor again.
Let's get lit right after the funeral. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know if it says it's unclear who won. The other note I have was Neville and the stairs. So when Neville's walking up the stairs and he falls into the trick staircase or the trick step, that's mentioned because, again, later in the book, when Harry's sneaking around, he will forget about that and fall in. And that's when he drops the map and fake Mad Eye Moody has to. Oh, my. It really did. I'm reading that like. So, yeah, that's a foreshadow to that moment. Oh, what else?
I think, too, in that scene when Neville is talking about how his gran would want him to do the tournament to, like, honor the family. At this point, we don't know, right? We don't know that much about Neville's parents yet. So it's kind of like, when do we find that out?
We find that out near the end of this book when Harry sees the memories. Sees the memories of
so that's a nod kind of there because Harry finds out later on that Neville's parents were tortured.
Of the Auror, Frank Longbottom, and his wife. I love that scene. That scene in the movie where what's his name?
Barty Crouch Jr.?
No, the head Igor Kakarov is being interviewed. Such a good scene. Did you notice I changed the intro music for this season? So at one point I have one of the quotes that I use is Barty Crouch. And then in my initial ending, when the music faded, you hear Ron going, Hermione, you're a girl. Well spotted. Come and have a dance, But then I took it out and I put in, so you hear the Barty Crouch. A few seconds later, babbling, bumbling band of baboons. And right as the music fades, Junior.
Nice.
Let's see. Moving through. Mad Eye being assaulted.
Yeah.
And that's Mad Eye was not being paranoid. He's actually right. And so in that instance, it's Wormtail and Barty Crouch Jr.
Barty Crouch Jr.
who are assaulting him. And at this point on, it's not the real Mad Eye. And for the whole book, we don't ever get to see the real Mad Eye.
He's like Actor of the Year, Oscar nominee, because I'm fooled. And then when you think about it later on in the next few books, when Harry interacts with the real Mad Eye,
even Harry's thinking this,
interaction, like the whole relationship that was developed in this year is fake. Like there's nothing there. So I feel like that would be really uncanny for me.
It makes Mad Eye seem like even more standoffish in the later books because we didn't actually get to know him before. I guess that's it. That's pretty much all the restricted section stuff I have for this chapter. Did you have any others?
I don't think so. I didn't pick up on anything.
Yeah. Well, listeners, that wraps up the episode then. A little sorry for the scatterbrained nature of this episode
That's
again.
What makes it fun.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun. But hope you enjoyed it. I always love getting to record with you, Emily. So thank you for coming back. One of my favorite co-hosts to have on. Very good friend. So listeners, make sure you say thank you to Emily as well. And yeah, that's all we got. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
And click. Thank you for listening to Retold. Artwork for this podcast was created by Rachel Ortlip. Music was created by Taylor Jarvis. And the Retold podcast is produced by me. That's right. I made this.